The main learning goals of this lesson were just the ability to use the target language, to give feedback, and to express those areas of joy, criticality, intellectualism, and to reflect. Reflection is such a huge part of learning.
Each group in our class is creating a book that we are doing through Senora Demar, someone who's worked with Senora. And so she goes to these places in Guatemala and gives the books to the children. And kind of like how we talked in class, the books have the Spanish part and the English part. So they go to the children so that they can hopefully advance their understanding of English and Spanish. So it's really special.
So the unit as a whole, this project of creating books that then travel to Guatemala for students in rural areas, the students are encouraged, and we're encouraged by our community partner from Guatemala Service Projects, to talk about themselves, write books about their experiences. She mentioned that the students in Guatemala are eager to hear about what their daily lives are like, what our climate's like here, any story that they have inside of them that's just wanting to get out. So all of that includes their identity.
Michaela, Greg y Paige son mejores amigos. Día cuando los tres amigos pasaron tiempo juntos.
Enojado,
Greg preguntó qué harían en su día perfecto.
In my 19 years of teaching, I've learned that a 17 or 18-year-old loves getting a blank piece of paper and a crayon and just creating as much as any elementary school student. And I think when that happens, just this spontaneous joy occurs. The students are developing their skills in this real life, authentic way. They have to use their Spanish in order to write. So they're choosing what to include and figuring out how to get their message across. Obviously, we want students to develop in certain ways and learn certain things, but it's applying those lessons to a real world context that matters the most. And this is what the lesson and what this project is all about.
Giving back is a really important thing to me, and being able to make these books to give to these children is something that's really special, and I think it's a great opportunity at the high school.
One of the communities that she delivered the books to last June, they had created about 6 short stories and sent them back for us. So the students got to read short stories that these children in Guatemala created just for them. And that's such a huge component of service, because it's not us doing for somebody else, it's learning back. I loved seeing today too, when they were reflecting and working together, the laughing that was taking place when they were sharing their stories and just enjoying each other's stories. That's joy.
Me encanta sus expresiones de sus personajes. Me gusta que uses emoción y sus expresiones son muy dramáticas.
Gracias.
Specifically, this lesson would have been different in the past and was different in the past. But because of this process and being involved in this project, it really made me stop and think about how students could bring in those elements of intellectualism and criticality and joy into this experience. And I love that joy is such an equal part of this, because I think that is such an underexplored and underrated part of education, and it's such an important piece of learning.
The focus of this class has been changing more so to like the global focus. How can we give back to the earth that's given so much to us? And we've been learning that through Spanish.
That really allows us to see like the practical uses of Spanish, instead of it just being like something that's so entrenched in academia and doesn't really have a true impact on the world. So it's nice to see a class actually having tangible impacts on the community around us and worldwide.
And as many students expressed in the lesson today, they connected to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And there were 3 main goals that they were connecting to: poverty, education, and reducing inequalities. Because these students a lot of times don't have access to books, especially in those rural communities. So they really were feeling empowered to take action and help.
Something that I really appreciate is like the group aspect of this class. I feel like in this class, more than any of my other classes that I take, we get to work and collaborate with so many different people within our community, within our class, within our school district.
For me, success is being able to use my knowledge of Spanish outside the classroom as well. So for example, I work at a nursing home currently, and I was able to use the Spanish that I use in here in that setting and speak to a Spanish-speaking resident. So that was really awesome.
You have such a different understanding of the world when you are bilingual or close to bilingual or have some sort of like different cultural or linguistic influence in you. And I just have more words to accurately describe the world around me, and that's what I'm doing like all the time. So I think it's really cool that I am equipped with so many more tools now.
I was fortunate enough to take a class last year called Global Sustainability, and this was AP Environmental Science mixed with Spanish 5 for me. So we got to learn a lot about the earth and all the different kind of aspects, from the SDGs back to going to elementary schools and teaching the younger kids Spanish and about curiosity, or all these different types of themes, and doing that all in Spanish too, just kind of connecting the two has been pretty cool to see.